Right now, without thinking about it, reach up and touch your chin. That small piece of bone at the bottom of your face. Go ahead, feel it. The way it pushes forward, just slightly, past your bottom teeth. It seems like nothing, the most ordinary part of your face. But that little bump of bone is one of the strangest things about being human, because no other animal on Earth has one, not a single one. Not a chimpanzee, not a gorilla, not a dog or a horse or a lion. And reach into the deep past, and it's still true. The ancient humans who came before you, they didn't have it either. The Neanderthals, your closest relatives, the other humans who walked this planet for hundreds of thousands of years, who made tools, who buried their dead, who you are partly descended from. They had no chin. Their jaws sloped backward, down and in, like every other animal that has ever lived. Only one creature in the entire history of life ever pushed a small wedge of bone forward at the bottom of its face. You. And after 100 years of looking, science still cannot tell you why. So let's start with what a chin actually is. Because it's stranger than you think. It's not the soft part. Not fat, not muscle, not skin. Strip all of that away, down to the bare skull, and the chin is still there. It's bone. A small tower of bone on the front of your lower jaw that juts out further than the teeth sitting above it. In every other ape, the jaw does the opposite. It leans backward, the teeth sit at the front, and the bone retreats behind them. In you, the bone steps forward, and the teeth tuck in behind it. It is so unique, so reliable, that a scientist can look at a single jawbone pulled out of the ground and know in an instant whether it belonged to one of us. If it has a chin, it's a modern human. If it doesn't, it's something else. So the obvious question is, what is it for? Because nothing in your body is supposed to be there by accident. Evolution is supposed to have a reason. So scientists went looking for one. The first guess was the simplest: strength. A chin must be a support, a buttress, a piece of reinforcement, bracing the jaw against the enormous force of chewing. For decades, this was the answer everyone believed. And then, they actually tested it. They modeled the forces. They measured the stress. They asked whether a jaw with a chin really survives the pressure of biting any better than a jaw without one. And the chin failed. It's in the wrong place, the wrong shape. A jaw with no chin at all would handle the force of chewing just fine. And it gets worse. The ancient humans who chewed the hardest, who ate the toughest, rawest food, had no chin at all. We didn't grow a chin as our jaws got stronger. We grew it as our food got softer, as we learned to cook, as we started chewing less than any human in history. The strength theory makes no sense. So that answer died. The next guess was bolder. We are the talking ape, the only creature on Earth that truly speaks, so maybe the chin is tied to that. Maybe it anchors the tongue. Maybe it braces the muscles we use to shape words. It's a beautiful idea. But the muscles that move your tongue don't attach to your chin. The connection just isn't there. The geometry doesn't work. Another theory. Gone. So scientists turned in a completely different direction. What if the chin has no job at all? What if it isn't a tool, but a decoration? Think about how we look at each other. A strong, defined jaw, a sharp chin. Even now, we read these as signals of health, of strength, of beauty. So maybe the chin is like a peacock's tail. Not useful, not functional, just chosen. Bred into us over thousands of generations for no reason except that we found it attractive. It's a real possibility. Scientists take it seriously, but it's almost impossible to prove. And it leaves one question hanging in the air. If the chin is about attraction, why does everyone have one? Every man, every woman, every child. It doesn't quite fit. And this is where the story turns somewhere most people have never heard. Because the explanation scientists lean toward today is the strangest one of all. The chin might not be for anything at all. Here's the idea. Over the last few 100,000 years, as we slowly became modern humans, our faces did something no human face had ever done before. They shrank. Our faces got smaller, flatter, more delicate. They pulled inward and tucked themselves underneath the front of the skull. We have the smallest, softest faces of any human that has ever existed. And the jaw shrank along with everything else. But, and this is the key, it didn't shrink evenly. The part of your jaw that holds your teeth retreated backward, while the bottom edge of the bone, the very front of it, mostly stayed right where it was. And what's left, standing out at the bottom, after the rest of your face quietly pulled away from it, is your chin. It isn't a feature, it's a leftover. It's the one corner of bone that didn't move when everything around it did. Stop and think about what that means. The single feature that makes you unmistakably human. The thing that separates your skull from a Neanderthals, from a chimpanzees, from every animal that has ever lived on this planet. The one detail a scientist uses to hold a piece of bone and say, "This one was one of us," might exist for no reason whatsoever. Not designed, not selected, not built for anything. Just an accident, a side effect. The shape your face happened to leave behind as it folded in on itself and became human. We want to believe that every part of us means something, that we are the way we are for a reason. But evolution doesn't owe you an explanation. Sometimes a thing is just there. And there's one last detail, maybe the strangest of all. You weren't born with it. Look at a baby. Its chin is barely there. Soft, round, almost nothing. The chin grows in slowly across years of childhood. It's one of the very last parts of your skull to settle into its final shape, as if your face spends years quietly still deciding just how human it's going to look. So reach up, one more time, and touch it, that small, pointed corner of bone at the bottom of your face. The most human thing about you, the line every textbook draws between us and everything that came before. And the truth is, after all the studying, all the science, all of these years, no one can tell you what it's doing there. Maybe it's an accident. Maybe it's a decoration. Maybe it's a question evolution simply never meant for you to answer. But here is what we do know. You are the only creature that has ever reached up and wondered why it has a chin. And you are the only one who has one.